Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Black Panther and the Agents of Wakanda, issue number 8. Yeah, I went digital on this one, whatever. I'm still not feeling great. I wanted to get to the comic book store, I just couldn't, so digital for me. But I'm not upset about it because you know what? With there not being a lot of comic books out and it's digital and I can just literally impulse buy, say it's not like, oh, buyer's remorse, I didn't buy this at the comic book store, but I'm not going back. Now I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to buy this too. Boop. So, hey, hopefully somebody's making some money off of this some way, somehow. This is a fun book. I enjoyed this, you know. Jim Zub is the writer, Lan Medina on pencils, Greg Young on inks, Marcio Menez on colors, VC's Josepino doing the letters and production, and Carlos Pacheco, I know how to say that name. I had a friend named Pacheco back in the day. Rafael Fonterres and Matt Mila all doing the cover art. Recap page art by Lanil Francis Yu and Sunny Rowe. And the logo is by Jay Bowen. All right. Of course, Black Panther was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, but the best stories were told by many, many other people. So let me just start off with the art. Love the art. There was one part of the art I didn't like, and I hope that nobody's upset that I say this. The cover art. I don't like it when the interior, I've said this many times, I don't like it when the cover artists are different than the art, the internal comic book artists. I don't like it because I feel like it's a false representation. If you're going to do a variant cover, by all means, have whoever you want doing the variant covers, but the main cover, cover A, should always be by the interior artists. 1, it's more money for them. 2, they deserve it. 3, we the fans deserve it. We deserve to see what we're going to get. And, we get this, beautiful cover and the interior art sucks. Well, this is one of those exact opposite situations because I don't feel that the exterior art, I don't feel that the cover sucks. But, as good as Fin Fang Foom looks on this, when you look at Black Panther on the front of this, his muscles just look like big bubbles. I just want to get a little pin and pop them. What's that stuff that people inject themselves with to make themselves look bigger, but they're not really bigger. They're just bleh, it's just whatever that stuff is. I forget what it's called. Anyway, that's what he looks like. He looks like he just injected parts of his body with that. And it's like, dude, that's kind of booty. You know what I'm saying? What is this? And it at the end of the day, it just doesn't do justice to what's on the interiors. And Matt Mila in my opinion, he's a better colorist than this. There wasn't enough shading on Black Panther on the front of this. But like I said, the interior art, much, much better than the cover art. That rarely ever happens from my observations. Usually they get the best cover artists and then just, whatever, saying for the interior art. This was very different, man. Lan Medina, it's known he's good. You know what I'm saying? Young doesn't do bad inks at all. Marcio Menez, great colors. Really good art in this book. As far as the story itself, I like this. I didn't read the previous issue, I admit to it, but Zub has a way of writing that he makes sure that if you didn't read the book before, that's okay. When I talked to him at the most recent Fan Expo Canada, he talked about how he worked on Spider-Man. The first Marvel character that he ever wrote was Spider-Man, and this was for the UK comic books, and he would have to write, I think it was a maximum of 8 pages. Maybe it was more, I don't remember, but it was like 8 pages, and he couldn't go over. He couldn't do like a continuation story. Every single story had to be a standalone story, which was amazing, amazing training. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I try to train myself in when I do my little short stories. I'm like, just write little short stories, make sure there's no continuation on anything, period. Just do this, because in my opinion, I feel like you have to be able to write like that. Even if you're going to do a continuation, make it like an episodic television show where there's this overlying backstory, but realistically, the main point is just the individual issues, the individual episodes. So this way you can jump on the episode or the issue and you don't have to worry about, oh, but I missed the previous 6 issues. So what? Everything should be a jumping on point. Everything. Plus, Zub also makes this so that every 2 issues is a complete story arc. There's the total story. They're all connected. You're just saying all these are connected, but each individual mission that these individual teams are going on, they're only 2 issues long each. So I love that. And this particular issue was the wrap-up part of Fin Fang Foom finally getting rid of his anger but his anger has become something larger than himself. It's become something entirely different. It's 3 different dragons that go around wrecking house, and he's actually got to reabsorb these in order to be able to save the world, I guess. And meanwhile, he's this little tiny dragon that can fit inside of a trash can, which I think is freaking epic. This was a really fun story. It was kind of heartwarming. I like seeing the Marvel monsters be humanized a little bit. You know what I'm saying? While still being terrifying. My back that rakes the sky. And I love these stupid freaking things that Fin Fang Foom is saying in here because it's so Fin Fang Foom, you know? He's like Darkwing Duck. I am the terror that flaps in the night. Calm down, bud, all right? You're a duck. Also, we have a new friendship in here between Brew and Fin Fang Foom. You want to see how that worked? Read the book. Go buy this book or read this book. It is such a fun book, my peeps. I love the way that these stories get to come together. I love how they're all standalone, yet they're part of a 2-part series, yet they're part of an overarching story, but it doesn't matter. If you never read any of the previous issues, it's okay. Jump on here. This right here, a jumping on point. Every single one of these issues, from my observation, not from my guesstimation, my observation is that every single one of these stories is a jumping on point. Find me one other comic book in print today that you could say that about. If you liked jumping on those old Spider-Man stories back in the day, back when, Ditko and Stan Lee were writing them, penciling them, whatever. If you liked all those old John Romita Sr. books, you know what I'm saying, with Spider-Man, where you could just jump on any old issue and it'd be like, wow, there's a story unto itself. I would love to read the next issue, but I don't need to. I would love to know what happened before, but I don't need to. That's what you're getting here. I know there's a lot of people coming down hard on this, and there are too many comic books for me to keep on going out and buying every single one of them. I can't afford to buy all these comic books that are coming out. So honestly, when a situation like the COVID happens and I get to, it's like, oh, there's not a lot of books out, I can afford to throw a little bit of money into this one also. It's a damn good feeling. So if you guys do have a couple extra bucks, this is real talk, man. Consider jumping on this. If you like it, consider a subscription. Consider putting in your pull list. Because this is, no other comic book is going to bring you back to those days of Spider-Man. It's the perfect fit. And I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.